Good morning. I'm Mary with Pinky Miles Sisters in the Kitchen and Pinky Miles Cakes, Cookies, and Candy. Carla wants to say hi. And then that's my oldest daughter. She is kind of filling in today.
Hi, Linda. She's flying back right now.
Linda's on her way home from Ireland, and Carla's going to be monitoring.
Yeah.
So,
behind the scenes, where I belong.
Yeah. So we're making something simple. We all praying that Linda has a safe trip home. She's got a comfy seat, and she said she hoped to sleep, that she will sleep all the way home, and she probably will. I don't think she slept maybe 30 minutes on the way over there, but she is much going, and all the sites that she has been going to see in Ireland, she's much tireder on the way back. So hopefully she will get some sleep and some rest. So thank y'all for being so kind to her while she was on her trip. And thank y'all for all your comments and for watching the videos. And we will hear more from her when she gets home. She's going to be excited to tell y'all some things that she hasn't told you. So y'all just stay tuned. She'll be on video soon. I'm hoping that my phone just blinked, so I don't know if that's the internet. I know my internet the other day was off for some reason. Ever so often they'll I think they're working on that high speed, whatever it is, so they're putting lines down, so ever so often they're digging somewhere and I lose my internet. Hopefully it will not go off today. But thank y'all for joining me this morning. It's different without Linda, but we're going to make the best of it. So I'm making a pizza pie. It's a very simple pie. If you don't have a recipe for pizza dough, I do have a good pizza dough recipe, but this is just different. I'm trying to do some things that are simple this week. I've got my granddaughter and her 4 children are coming Saturday, and it's a very busy week for me. I'm not vacationing, but I've got a busy week, and so I'm doing an easy pizza pie this morning. So this is a store-bought pizza. I like to make my own crust, but this is not what I'm doing today. This is a Pillsbury pie dough, and I'm using 2 pie crusts. So I rolled this out. When you actually spread the pie crust out, it's almost 12 inches. I rolled it just very, very little, and to make it 12. So we're going to start out with the 12-inch pizza crust. Now, I'm going to turn this up. I've got a half a pound of extra lean hamburger meat that I'm going to put some seasoning in. So I'm cooking the half a pound of, I've already cooked a little bit, but I didn't want to cook it all because I didn't want to. I'm putting 1/3 cup of chopped onions. The recipe actually called to put raw onions in this. Of course, it's going in the oven. I preheated my oven to 400. But I'm cooking my onions because I don't like a raw onion. And I don't think it's going to be in the oven long enough for it to actually get the onions done. So that's your preference. If you want the raw onions in here and just use the thyme bacon to tenderize them, that's fine. But I'm going to cook mine 1/3 cup in a half a pound of extra lean hamburger meat. And I'm also going to put 1 tablespoon of taco seasoning. 1 tablespoon. I don't buy the taco seasoning little packages because it's a lot more expensive. I bought it at Sam's, so I get this big, and because I use a lot of it. So I'm going to put 1 tablespoon in my meat. And this is extra lean hamburger. I guess I could. I'm gonna stir it up. I'll bring the camera over there so y'all can see what I'm doing. just gonna cook this meat until it's done, and the meat and the onions might not get completely tender, but it will help. So when it's in the oven, it won't be as raw. So that's why I'm doing this first. And I didn't want to do this ahead of time because I wanted y'all to see what I was doing. This really needed to be cooled, but I think it'll be okay. There are so many kinds of pizzas you can make. I make lots of kinds of pizzas. Actually, y'all know that we do our recipes on the calendar ahead of time, from time that we're actually cooking them. And this was actually on my week. I thought Shelly was going to be here, so I was going to let little Aaron help me with this. So he's not, because he's staying with. They're visiting with Carla a few days before they come here. And I know Carla well and left him this morning, but she's going right back soon. It's not far. And so I may cook a different kind of pizza with a pizza crust next week, if that's what little Aaron wants to make. I want to cook something that he really wants to make. And huh?
It is. You were telling me all about it last night.
What is he wants to make pizza, Carl?
Yes.
Okay, so little Aaron wants to make a pizza on camera next week. So we'll find. I'll do a pizza dough. Let him help me with that. And this is done, so I'm gonna take it off the burner. And I'm gonna put that in a. I'm gonna put it in a plate so it will cool a bit more. And then I'll get back to the crust and do the rest of it. So. All right, let me get a paper plate. I was telling Carla, I said, I'm having some of those little dizzy spells that I have sometimes this morning. So I have to be careful. When I have my dizzy spells, I have to be careful. That had very, very little oil in it, and I'm not going to put that in the meat. So I'm going to put it in this paper plate. And it'll cool off out of that pan that was so hot. Just a little. I'm not going to cool it much because I'm going to go ahead and get the pie made. So now I will get back over here to where I'm doing my pie crust. I'm using a stone pizza. This is there. We have several kinds of pizza stones in our line of Pampered Chef, but this is what I'm using this morning simply because the other stone that I have, it's in the storage. I know y'all get tired of me saying the storage, but I only have room for so much, and I had to, when Linda and Braden moved in, I had to take a lot of my extra stuff to the storage. So this is what I'm using. I also use this tray for a serving tray. So I've never used it to cook in before. So I put a little bit of oil on it. You don't have to oil these stones to cook something, but the first time you bake in them, you do need to use a little bit of oil. So I'm gonna set that there, and I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put this at 12 inches, and this is a 12-inch pan, so it pretty well covers it. So I've got that in there. Now I'm gonna roll out the top one, and the reason I'm gonna go ahead and roll this out so I can get it. I'm gonna put a little bit of flour on that. I put just a tad, not much, of flour down. Sometimes these pie crust has a little moisture in it. What it is, when I catch them on sale, I buy cereal boxes. This comes 2 in a box, and I buy cereal boxes so that I can have them extra. Now this top crust, I'm going to roll out to 13 inches because we want to make a lip on the edges. So I'm gonna do it 13 inches so we'll have enough to lap it over and make the edges crinkled. Carla came in this morning and she was on the phone talking to Miranda and Bradley and Kinley and Hunter. That's the baby. The Hunter's the new grandbaby. And they were so fun. Bradley said, Memo, can I come to your house and we do like we did the last time? I said, yes, you can, Bradley. These pastry mats are so nice because they've already got the dimensions on here, and it makes it nice so you'll know when you get the size that you want on it. So, and that's rolling it kind of thin, but it's not in the oven long. So, Linda, I know all y'all have heard she's already met some more of her followers at the airport on her way out. And so now I'm going to move this kind of to the side here. That was my oven heating. Let's see here. I'm gonna move this out of the way. It's too much. This is refried beans. I want a cup of it. So when I told Braden what I was cooking today, he loves pizza, but he does not like pie crust. He likes the pizza crust. So after I get off air, I'm going to make him a pizza, but it's not going to be out of pizza dough. He loves flour tortillas. So I'm going to make him like a little burrito with some of the same fillings. But I want to measure this to make sure I get the right amount because I don't want too much. Okay, so this is a cup of refried beans. You use any brand you want. That's 1 cup of refried beans. Let's see, what did it here it is. And I'm going to put, two tablespoons of taco seasoning in my refried beans. You know what? I was going to put some garlic powder in my meat, and I didn't. So I'm going to put it in these beans. Okay, where's my garlic powder? Right here. You can put that garlic powder in with your meat, or you can put it in with these beans. I'm going to put 1/4 a teaspoon. That's a teaspoon. I'm going to put 1/4 a teaspoon of garlic powder in here. I make, when I use refried beans in a burrito or 7-layer salad or whatever, I always use taco seasoning and garlic salt, and sometimes I put onion salt in my refried beans. It helps them to not be so bland. So that's what I always do. So I made a little mess there. Get that up. If you don't clean your messes up as you go, it sticks to your bowl and everything else where you're working at. So, all right, now I'm going to put this refried beans on the bottom of my pie. I'm going to put this on. Spread this all over the pizza. Leave about a 1/2 inch around the edges because you're going to put the Guess I'm gonna have to get me a little spatula out of here. That little one always falls deep down in there, and I just want a little one. I like this little one better than I do any of my spatulas. Okay. Get this. I was out early this morning watering my plants. I'm telling you, my plants and flowers are just, it's hard on them, all this heat. I put some Epsom salt in my water, a tablespoon per gallon this morning, trying to give them a little pep, a lift or whatever. They're not dead, but, well, I did lose some, but just, I love flowers. I really don't have a green thumb. I really don't. I've never really been good at it. I just like flowers. My Pinky Ma was good, and my brother Edward is. Edward is.
I've been able to keep a fern and some hydrangeas alive all summer so far.
Well, you're doing great, Carla. You sure are.
First time in my life I kept a plant alive.
Really?
Yes. I think it's because I ain't tending to no kids.
Yeah, that probably has a lot to do with it. Well, ferns are easier for me to keep than anything. And ivy. I can do ivy. Okay? All right, I think I've got it spread enough. Now I've got 1 can of black beans, and I've rinsed them and drained them. And I'm going to put that over it. There's a lot of beans in it. Okay. It said the whole can, so that's what I'm using. And then I'm going to put the meat in on top of this. If it's any of this that you don't want in it, just don't put it in it. You know, if you don't like the refried beans, this is double beans. You don't have to. I'm gonna put the meat on there first. Now this is my meat, and it's not hot. It's not cold, but it's not hot. So I'm putting this over the beans. And I definitely rather have my onions cooked, because this is called a pie. I'm wondering, I imagine y'all are too, how good this is going to cut, because it's going to be heavy. But it's okay. We'll find that out. Okay. The beans on there that moved. Okay, you know what? I'm going to drain this. One can of chopped green chilies, and I've run it through my strainer here because I didn't want that juice in here. So I'm just going to spread this out evenly to get it on all of it. Okay. Now I'm going to sprinkle another tablespoon of taco seasoning on top of this. Another teaspoon. If you was using an envelope, you would just kind of divide it up. I don't know exactly how many tablespoons is in one of those envelopes, and the little taco seasoning mix, but I'm guessing between 3 and 4 tablespoons in one of those envelopes. So that's what I'm going by putting in this, because the recipe called for a package. So I'm kind of thinking it's 3 to 4 tablespoons. So that's what I'm using in here. Now I've got to get my pecani sauce. It's 1 cup. Where's my cup? Well, I guess we get another cup. A cup of chunky pecani sauce. And I've got another jar, but I wanted to use the rest of this one before and I'm going to use this spatula because I'm pretty sure I'm going to use all of it. So, use all of this. Chunky, that's going to be a thick pizza. So, I'm going to do this so I can get it all on there. So, all right. So that's a cup. Might have liked a little bit, but I don't want to open a new one just for this. If it'd been less, then I would have, but I'm not going to. So it's gonna be it's different. It's not a pepperoni. It's more of a salsa and bean pizza. And I grated up. You wipe my hands off. I grated up some Monterey Jack and some cheddar cheese. I put on there a Mexican blend, whatever you want to put on is fine. I just shredded some Monterey Jack and cheddar, so I'm gonna put about a cup. I'm not measuring this on top of here. So, pizza's not pizza to me without cheese. Lots of it. So, I'm going to save a little bit to go on top. So, I think that's about what I need. Now I'm going to put my pie crust over that. And that's why you had to roll out this top pie crust an inch larger than the bottom because of the filling, the topping. I crease it around the edges, and then I'm gonna flute them. I think I'm saying it right. I don't have Linda here to correct me. Anyway, I'm gonna. First of all, I'm joining the pie crust together. I don't want it to come loose. So I'm pinching them together. You can see, and then I'm doing it like I would a pie crust. I guess that's why it's called a pie. Some of my filling got a little bit close on there, but I think it'll still be okay. But I don't want it to come apart. So, hi Bradley. Bradley and Kenley, Miranda.
Hi, sweet babies.
You know, them grandkids and great grandkids, they are the world. You know, the Lord has blessed me with some good grandkids and great grandkids, and I love them. I was thinking the other day, I said, you know, I wish it's where I could see them more often. The only grandkids that I get to see on a regular basis is Braden. Nathan, he lives close, but between his work schedule and his sleep schedule and, you know, and his life, I don't see him as often. You know, when your grandkids, when your children, period, when they start getting grown and teenagers and everything, you know, a lot of things changes in your life. And what I mean by that is they start having, you know, different schedules, eating habits change, and so it's not like when they're small. So if you have small children, treasure every moment of it, because that's when you can sit around the table with all of them at the same time, and you know, that means a lot. And you know what? It depends on each family, but it's good if you can still do that, even if your teenagers are older. It's just a lot of times you can't because of work schedule and everything. But I hope I got them connected good. You know, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. The filling, I got so much filling in it, I almost run it too close to the edges. But hopefully this will stay. Hopefully. And I'm going to put some canola oil. Oh, that reminds me. One of our sweet followers, Rhonda. Thank you, Rhonda, for sending Linda and I both a can of baking soda. I had this out so I would not forget. I had mentioned that I was running low, and I was. So thank you, Rhonda, so much for sending Linda and I a container of baking powders. All right, now I'm going to... I had this little bowl out, but I couldn't remember what I had it out for. About a teaspoon of canola oil. I brushed the top of it with it, about a teaspoon, which is not much. You don't want it. While I was using my brush a while ago to put that oil on the thing, and I wouldn't put it in water. So I have 2 or 3 of these, but I'm not going to dig it out. Just kind of go over the top of the crust, about a teaspoon of canola oil. I almost used my avocado oil. That's what little Linda wants me to use, and I do have it. But I'm going to use canola because that's what I put on the recipe. Just kind of, a teaspoon is not much, so you're not putting a lot of oil on this. Just a little bit. I'm just putting it all over it. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Then I'm going to put another tablespoon. I want to make sure it don't have no lumps in it. I'm going to put a tablespoon of taco seasoning. I'm going to get a bowl, mash that up. Sometimes when you buy it in big containers like this, it gets a little lumps in it. I don't want no lumps on top of this, so I'm going to take my measuring cup and crush it so it won't be in one big lump of taco seasoning. So, and Carla, do we have any questions?
And someone was asking about little Linda, if she still helps us. They haven't seen her in a little while, and I said, yes, she does still help us, but she went back to work full-time doing social work, which is what her degree is in.
Yeah, Linda is working, I guess you heard her say, social work. She's, you know, sometimes she comes in tears because
It's a tough job.
It's a tough job. It's hard to handle knowing how some children have to get along in this world, and the parents being taken away from their parents and everything, and so that's kind of hard for Linda because she has such a caring heart.
She does.
She goes to court a lot, and she always gets a big, always right. You know, I told her, I said, you want to be an attorney. The other side will, say something, and she will come back with a reason why, and, so she's good. She's good at her job. She's good at anything she does, and when she's got her heart in it, Okay. All right. That's quite a bit of taco seasoning, but that's what I'm putting on there. Now I'm going to take a knife, and I'm going to make little slits in it. Because pie crust, it has to have an air vent. So, all right, now I'm going to put this in the oven, 400 degrees, for 15 minutes, 15 to 17 minutes.
You got it?
I got it. Thank you, Carla. All right. So let me set my clock. Okay. I put it on 16 because I'll check it. It might have to be a little bit more, but 15 to 17 minutes will be fine. Now, and then when I bring it out, I'm going to sprinkle it with just a little bit of cheese and then just let it melt, which takes 5 minutes. So won't be long. It's kind of a easy pizza, and it's a little different. It's a little different having the crust. But Braden, he likes flour tortillas, and what I'll do is I will take the same mixture and put on a flour tortilla in the same way. I will also add some rice. I made some chicken teriyaki last night with some rice, and so I have some rice left over, and I'll put in some rice in there. It's kind of like, what's the name of that place that I always go? Chipotle. It's kind of the Chipotle.
Oh, yeah?
Braden loves Chipotle, and I go there a lot and get him, and he loves those burritos, so I'm going to make him one after a while. But what I do different is when I roll it up, then I put it in just a little bit of butter on the outside of it after I roll it up, and put it in a hot skillet. Slow. You have to do this slow. You cannot put it in a hot skillet to begin with, because I want it to be crusty and crunchy. I even like mine that way because when I'm eating something, I just like something crunchy. You know, I don't like nothing soft. It's one reason I've never liked burritos, is because I don't like anything soft. But since I've been making them tortillas and putting that crust on the outside, I like it better. So and Braden does too. I try all kinds of things. I put a ton of cheese on his because he loves cheese. Sometimes I'll put a hyper block. I'm not kidding. Because he loves cheese. And so you can just there's so many things that you can do. Just get in the kitchen. If you've never made a pizza, or if you've never made anything that we make, there is just so many different ways that you can do the same recipe, And I was thinking, I might have already said this to y'all. When I was raising my family, I had so much money every week to spend on groceries, and it wasn't the same amount every week, but it's just whatever. We paid our bills first. My husband did not believe in charge cards. We charged a vehicle and house payment. Other than that, I take that back. We did have one charge card for emergency, but we didn't use it. Well, be honest, every once in a while we would, just because you have to keep it active. So anyway, he did not believe in charge cards. So we paid our bills first, and then whatever we had left, that's what we used to spend on whatever, living expense or whatever. And so I made do. If I was running low before payday, I usually had something, because I bought things on sale. I used coupons. I was a coupon expert, because I would just get a lot of money off on coupons.
Yeah, you did.
I don't do that anymore, because clipping coupons, it's a job, because I would get the sale papers that had the coupons in it, and I would sell, and I had a little organizer according to the what it was. It was dairy or canned goods or box goods or whatever, and I would go through them coupons and go through the sale paper, and I would compare. Sometimes I would go to 3 stores a day.
Oh, or more. I remember.
I would go to different stores, and that's how I managed. But times have changed. I'm telling you, it's just people, I'm talking even about myself. I don't take the time to collect coupons. I do still look at sale papers. Now, I compare sales, the Brookshires, the Super One, and Kroger's, and I compare them. And even if it's something that I'm not going to use that week, I will buy several of it, stock up, because it's something that I use on a regular basis. And so I do try to save in every way. But when my kids was growing up, I managed it, and they eat it. It was, nowadays, if it ain't the certain thing, and made a certain way, kids don't want it. And but I guess, and I'm thankful that my kids and grandkids hasn't had to live that way. I'm thankful. But
what they do now is digital coupons. They want you to download
Yeah.
their app
Right.
onto your
That's
phone
true.
and then
That's
scan. It's all electronic.
I know. And you know what? I may be old, but I'll tell you one thing. Those digital coupons, that can be a pain. But you know what? I got them. I got them on my phone. And when I first tried to download one, it would mess me up. And I just go to the service desk, and I tell them the situation. I cannot get this to work. Would you please fix my phone? I hand them my phone, and you know what? The lady at the desk, she'd just do all her numbers, and she would get it fixed. And so now it's easy. I know how to do it now. But and I keep up with it. You have to really keep up with when they're scanning those things in. You have to keep up whether you actually got that sale or not. And I'll tell you one thing. When I see when I get my ticket and I see, because I watch the meter, the computer, whenever she's ringing it up, and I finally learned at Kroger's, that it doesn't take off the coupons until at the end. Some of them does, some of them don't. But I get my ticket and I look, and you know what? If I didn't get the sale, I go to the service desk, and I know that sounds like I'm being picky, but you know what? $1 here and $1 there, it makes a difference. And if they advertise you get it, well, then I think I should. And they have always been super nice. I'm not complaining. I go to the service desk, I show them my ticket, show them that I put in my Rewards Club card, and they will look it over, and they said, no, ma'am, you didn't get it. So they would fix it. They would refund my money is what they would do. And it might not be but $1. Sometimes it'd be $2. But I watch it. I watch it very closely. And anyway, that was old days whenever I really was pinching pennies. I don't have to pinch pennies that much now. And there's a lot of ways that I probably could save more than what I do. But it also takes a lot of time, and I don't have as much time as I used to. I didn't work. I worked some periods of my married life with my husband. I worked, but he never wanted me to work outside the home. My husband's ideal of a wife and a mother was to stay at home and keep the house clean, and he was not a control freak. He did not control me, but he wanted me to have the freedom to raise my kids and have meals on the table and a clean house. He said that meant more to him than the money that I would be making outside the home. And of course, that kind of went against my grain because I love to work. I love to make money. And so I did. We didn't have really per se problems, but that was one debate that my husband and I had all the time. Just let me go to work. I can make this extra money, and we can do this, and we can do that, and he was not for it. And now I understand why he did not want to have charge cards. Because after my husband died, we had good credit. And I went crazy with charge cards. I'd open up one, open up two. I'd take the grandkids shopping. Didn't matter. That was how I was coping. And I run myself up some charge cards. And I learned my lesson. Now, when I do have charge cards, but now when I get them every month, I pay it off. I pay it every month. I do not want it to add up. I don't want to leave a bunch of debt for my children. So I pay it as I go. Now, I'm getting back to Bobby's philosophy. Charge cards could get you in a heap of trouble. And so that's what I do now, is just pay it as I go, and try not to get it up too high. I try to watch it more closely. And there was something else I was going to tell y'all. What was it? I hadn't planned on saying that. It just come to me. But, talk about vehicles. When I was, my first child was born. I had 3 children. I got 2 girls and a boy. I had a girl, Carla, the oldest, and then I had a son, Chuck, 3 years later. And then 9 years later, I had a little Linda. But anyway, my husband believed always I had transportation. We had 2 vehicles, and it didn't make any difference if we had to scrape pennies. He made sure I had a vehicle because he said one of the kids was to get sick. You need to take them to the doctor, and then they had doctor's appointments, and he did not want me to be at home without a way to go. And he was just so thoughtful. I don't know why I'm talking so much about my husband. But anyway, that was my life. And that's what we talk about on here, is our life. You know, my children, Linda and Carla always shared a room until Carla was about 13, I think. She was about 13, yeah. And she, because Linda had a lot of toys.
15.
You was 15?
No, we were still sharing a bedroom when I left home.
Okay.
She was 5 or 6.
Oh, that's right. Anyway, Carla complained about how Linda kept the room. Because she did not like all them toys and dolls. That's one of the reasons I got rid of some dolls that I wished and regret to this day that I got rid of. Some of her Chrissy dolls and her big Ragged Ann that my mother made. I got rid of a lot of things just because there's just so much in her, in Carla's and Linda's room that they were sharing. And there's a lot of age difference, but Carla wanted little Linda in her room. She just didn't want her messing with her stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Carla always mothered little Linda. She always loved her, petted her. And little Chuck come along. I never had any problems with Carla. When she was till she was 3 years old, she followed me around every footstep I took. She was right there with me. If I was cooking, she's in the kitchen cooking, helping me in some way or another. If I was folding clothes, she was folding clothes. She knew where all the clothes went. She was 3 years old. She could help me put them up. And but when little Chuck come along, he was lactose tolerant. Anyway, he could not drink milk. So he cried, and he cried, and he cried. Paragard. If any of y'all out there remember Paragard, can't even buy it now. Is that what it is, Carla? This Paragard you can't buy?
So.
Anyway, you can't buy it now, but that's what the doctor told me to give him because he would not sleep. He cried all the time with his little stomach. And so that gave Carla a chance to do whatever she wanted to while I was sitting holding him. And she would take Chuck's clothes and put them on her dolls. And, of course, that was making a mess. But she always kept everything neat and in place until Chuck come along. and I think it might be a little bit of me not giving her attention like she needed. My pie's almost done. Well, I say it's almost done. It doesn't look like done to me, but we'll see. We may have to cook it a few more minutes. It's still got almost 3 more minutes. I'm anxious to see Linda, my sister, and see and hear some more about her trip. I've been little Linda and Carla and I have been talking about a trip that we've been wanting to take, but it's going to have to be cooler weather because I can't be out in this heat. And it was really a blessing that Linda went where she went wasn't so hot. But where I'm wanting to go is it would be hot. But I'm wanting to go around Christmas time is what I want, so it'd be cool. And my children and I want to take a vacation. We haven't taken a vacation together in a long time. We always include Linda, and she'll be included if she wants to be. She's always invited to all of our family functions. You know, Linda doesn't have her biological children, but she's very much a part of my life and my family. And so looking forward to a lot of new things is going to be happening in my life in the next few months before Christmas. You know, little Linda and Braden, they're looking for them a new home. And and it's Christmas to be here before you know it. And you know how I love Christmas. So I'm getting excited for that. Carla, do we have any more questions? I know all of y'all have just been so busy watching Linda's videos, and y'all probably wore out because it takes a lot of time, because I tried to watch the videos and try to do everything I had to do here, and it took up a lot of my time. So I know that it's taking up y'all's time. So thank y'all so much for supporting her in that way. We did gain a lot of new scammers and pretty boys, whatever you want to call them, and we're trying to delete them as soon as we can. Carla is using my phone today, and the reason she's using my phone, she lost her phone in a bathroom. She had stopped.
I didn't lose it. I knew right where it was. Somebody picked it up and took it out the front door with them.
Is that right? Anyway, they didn't turn it in. And so she's having to use my phone, and I don't have Pinky Miles downloaded on my personal phone. All right, let me check my pizza. Okay. Well, it's not quite done. I'm going to add those extra few minutes that I did not put on there. So I'm going to give it 5 more minutes, and then I'll take it out. My sister, she's so funny. She's already planning another trip. I don't know. She's probably gonna have to rest for a while before she plans another one, though. We both like to go. Hey, I love to go. If it was where I could, I'd travel everywhere. But you know, I can't do it and hold the fort down here, and too, my health is not as good as Linda's. It's not. I'm going to start back on my Octavia after my granddaughter leaves. I'm going to start back on that because I've gained 10 pounds, and you know, 10 pounds on me looks like 20, and it feels like 20. So 10 pounds is what I need to lose. That's not much. It won't be hard, but I'm going to do that and see. I don't think that's what's causing me to be dizzy. I really don't. I was at the eye doctor the other day, and I'm fixing to get some new glasses. But the lady was telling me that her mother had some problems with her ears, And she finally went to the ENT, which I have an appointment for, but I couldn't get it till August. So she said her mother went to the ENT, and I have never heard of this. And did you know why that she was having problems? Was acid reflux. Have you ever heard of that, Carlos?
Acid reflux.
Acid reflux in her throat. It was her throat that was inflamed, and it caused her to have ear problems. So I'll see what the ENT says to me. I don't know. I do have acid reflux, but I take medicine for it. So I don't know. I think coffee, because if you have acid reflux, you're not supposed to drink anything extremely cold or extremely hot. I don't drink my coffee hot, but it's warm, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Hey, the Lord gives me strength every day, and I just thank Him for it. So, just every day I get up, before I ever get up, I start thanking the Lord for His blessings, and that for another day, you know. So let's see here. I'm excited. Got a new pastor coming Sunday. I'm really excited about that. And there's going to be some changes, but you know, that's okay. That is okay. I know we're going to have some good services and start working for the Lord, you know, which we should be doing anyway. But I think our pastor, you know, he's younger, and that makes a lot of difference. You know, you have more energy, and you just have new goals and things like that. So we'll see. Let me see here what it's just not brown, and I want it brown, you know. I don't know if all that filling, because actually the recipe that said pizza pie, it didn't have all that stuff that I put in there. But you know me, I'm going to add or take away any recipe that somebody else does. I want to make it my own. And that's why I'm telling y'all can do that and make anything I cook your own. You know, there's certain things that don't go together. I wouldn't recommend just putting anything together, but you know what you like. So I'm going to take a trip to Linnell and Charles's pretty soon. I talked to them a couple of days ago. I think it's a couple of days ago. This is Tuesday, so no, it was last week. And Linnell has just had procedure done on her shoulder, and so she's having some therapy, but she says it's working good now. So, you know, she's canned. Oh, she has done so much canning from her garden. They had a nice garden this year, which they always do. Linnell is good with gardening because she was raised on a farm where they did acres and acres of vegetables. Now, let me try my gloves on. I'm gonna turn it around. I want it to be a little browner. It's probably done, but it's just that pale, and I like it brown. So I'm gonna cook it a little bit longer. I'm gonna turn it up to 425. Now this stone, pizza stone, 500 is the highest temperature you can cook it something in it. But I turned it to 425. I want it to speed up a little bit because it looks like it may be done. I just want it to be a little browner. So, and I don't want to have to jump off and come back on. So I'm gonna give it 5 more minutes. I'll put it for 4 more minutes. I know I'm keeping y'all on here longer than I had planned on, but thank y'all so much for hanging in there. You know, when you're cooking, it seems like the time goes by fast if you're not on camera. It just goes by really fast. And then when I'm on camera, it seems like it takes forever to get something done. But I want it to be done before I take it out.
I'll talk a little bit.
All right.
Shelly and the boys was staying with me last night, and it was so good, so precious.
I know.
That little baby is just adorable.
I hadn't got to see Shelly's little baby,
He's
Aston.
cute, so cute.
Yeah. I was there whenever Hunter was born, but Aston I have not seen. So
He was born about 4 weeks later.
yeah. So I'll get to see them Saturday, and I'm looking so forward to that.
He's darling, and he has more facial expressions than I've ever seen on
Is
a
that right?
brand new baby. He says so many things with his face.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so funny.
He likes attention. That's what I've
He
heard.
does. He will not let her put him down. Not to eat, nothing. She lays him down, and when she lays him down, he wants her to look at him and talk to him. She better be talking to him constantly, because if she stops and talks to somebody else, he gets mad.
Well, little Aaron is his brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's what, 10? He's 10. He reads him stories. He reads him out of a book a lot. So Ashton is accustomed to having attention.
Oh yeah.
And little Hunter's the same way. He's used to Kinley playing and talking
You
to
know,
him.
Hunter, whenever he sees Kinley, his sibling that's about 18 months older than him, his face lights up.
Yeah.
That is the sweetest thing in the world, that this newborn baby recognizes his sibling and gets so happy. I mean, he just lights up when she comes near him. He loves, and Bradley too. He just loves his siblings.
Yeah.
It's so precious.
It's so sweet, and I'm so glad that Miranda's such a good little mother, and Shelly is too. You know, Shelly, she worked for Oklahoma State for several years, and Shelly's actually still in college.
She is. She just completed her master's.
Did she?
She's got to do her practicum, and she's putting that off just because of Ashton. She wants to spend the first year with her baby.
Yeah. So anyway, great granddaughters, have wonderful, smart.
We talked about having a FaceTime video chat with the grandbabies, with Bradley and Kinley and Hunter, with Mom and Aunt Linda on the show. We're going to see if we can arrange that and have a little Apple, like an iPad. It's got a little bigger screen, and have y'all talking with them just for a few minutes, not all the show, but just like a special guest appearance.
You can tell that we're proud grandparents.
Yes, very much.
All right, I'm gonna see if this is.
Do you need me to get that out of there for you?
No, I can get it. Thank you.
Got it?
Yeah. All right, you'll put that for me. See, it's gotten browner.
Yeah, looks good.
So now I'm going to put some more cheese on top of it, and just let the cheese melt. So. That's a big pizza pie, isn't it, Carla?
Yeah, it is. It's a lot.
I'm just going to dump the rest of this in here. Oh, there's my clock. So that means I've been on here an hour. Okay. I'm just going to put it in the oven for less than 5 minutes just to get that cheese melted, and then it's coming right back out. I know Chuckabee ain't just now. Braden, he may think he don't like this, but he might change his mind. I should have had these gloves on before I opened that oven. Actually, the cheese will almost melt by the time I got it on there, but I'm gonna give it just a couple of minutes, and then I'll get it back out. Let me see. Let me get my slicer. Let's see here. I need to get a plate. It's okay. I'm gonna cut a slice of this. I might ought to wait till it cools off a little bit, but I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and show y'all the slice when I get it out of the oven. All right. Okay. Isn't that pretty?
Yes.
And it smells good. Okay. So, it's a bubbling. So I'm not so sure how well I'm going to be able to, it may not stay together. Oh, I better take the sheet off. I don't think that would cut, would it? So I am going to cut it. I'm hoping the beans has kept it. I'm just going to cut a small slice because I'm not sure that it's going to stay together. Hey, it's cutting pretty good. Hey, I never cease to surprise myself. I love trying new recipes. It did come out as a piece of pie. See? So, I'm gonna put my gloves on and turn this around so y'all can see. See? I hope y'all can they see, Carla?
Yes. Yeah,
Let me scoot it back this way so you can see.
You
Oh.
can see it, the whole thing.
Okay, good. All right. Now, I know this is going to be hot, but I'm going to taste of it. Thank you, Jesus, for all your blessings.
I'm going to taste it too, but
Are
it's
you?
on camera.
Well, I'm going to have to blow it because I know it's so hot. That's delicious. That taco sauce
Yes.
is a little salty.
Yeah.
I don't eat much salt on my food. It's not too salty, but I don't eat salt on my food. So if you want to cut down a little bit on the taco seasoning, on the crust, or even on the inside, maybe put a half a tablespoon, that's your preference. It's not too salty, but for me, I wouldn't use quite as much taco seasoning because of the salt. I made those chicken teriyaki last night, and the girls, Carla, little Linda, said it wasn't too salty, but it was a little salty for me because of that teriyaki sauce. But anyway, as you can see, a little bit of the juice is running out there, but that's okay. That's still, and I figured that because I might not have drained those green tortillas quite as much because I had forgot to drain them before I got on camera. But anyway, it's a delicious pie, and y'all try it and see how y'all like it. And I will be back tomorrow, and I won't be making pizza or pizza crust tomorrow. I'm going to make a casserole, and it's going to be a good one too. So don't forget to tune in again tomorrow, and don't forget to count your blessings. We love y'all and appreciate all of y'all's love and support. Bye-bye.